In the cold, vast expanse of space, a lone figure sat motionless on the worn metal floor of an abandoned command station. Jae-woo Park, once the most feared and respected warrior king of the Galactic Confederation, now existed as nothing more than a ghost of his former self. The station hummed with an eerie silence, its countless screens dark and lifeless. Dust-covered panels and flickering emergency lights were the only witnesses to his fallen glory. His silver armor, now dull and scratched, told a story of betrayal and defeat that echoed through the empty corridors. 12 years ago, Jae-woo had been the pinnacle of military leadership. His strategic mind had protected multiple star systems, kept peace among countless alien races, and maintained a delicate balance of power that seemed unbreakable. Commanders would travel across galaxies to seek his counsel, and diplomats would tremble at the mere mention of his name. But power is a fragile thing. The betrayal came slowly at first. Small diplomatic incidents, carefully orchestrated misunderstandings, strategic information leaks. Each move was calculated, each step designed to chip away at his reputation and influence. The alien races he had once protected began to turn against him, whispering rumors and spreading mistrust. His most trusted advisors were the first to abandon him. One by one they disappeared, some taking lucrative positions with rival governments, others simply vanishing into the vast darkness of space. Communication channels went silent. Political allies became distant, then hostile. Jae-woo remembered the final council meeting. The Grand Hall, once filled with respect and admiration, had become a chamber of judgment. 12 alien representatives sat in a perfect circle, their eyes cold and calculating. They spoke of his outdated strategies, his inability to adapt to changing galactic dynamics. Each word was a calculated knife, designed to strip away his dignity. The charges were ridiculous. Accusations of military overreach, of being too aggressive, of maintaining power through fear rather than diplomacy. But Jae-woo knew the truth. This was about control. This was about removing a leader who could not be manipulated. In a single moment, everything he had built crumbled. His military rank was stripped, his royal credentials revoked. Entire star systems that he had protected for decades suddenly declared him an enemy. His extensive network of allies became a web of isolation. They didn't just want to defeat him, they wanted to erase him. The final blow came when his entire royal lineage was systematically targeted. Family members were exiled, resources seized, historical records altered. It was a complete and total destruction of everything he represented. Now he sat alone. The command station, once a symbol of his power, had become his prison and his sanctuary. Outside the thick reinforced windows, distant stars continued their eternal dance, uncaring about the drama of political destruction. Jae-woo's hands, once steady and powerful, now seemed fragile. Years of isolation had taken their toll. His muscles had weakened, his tactical skills dulled by lack of practice. But his mind remained sharp, continuously analyzing, always planning. He had survived because survival was the only option. Water. Reserves were low. Food synthesizers worked at minimum capacity. Communication systems were barely functional. Yet, he maintained discipline. Every day, he would check the station's systems, review old strategic logs, and maintain hope. Hope was a dangerous thing in his situation, but it was all he had left. The station drifted through a quiet sector, far from known trade routes. Navigation systems showed no potential rescue or contact. Days merged into weeks, weeks into months. Time became a fluid concept in this metallic tomb. Sometimes Jae-woo would stand at the main viewport watching distant nebulae and asteroid fields. He would remember the battles he had won, the peace he had maintained, the civilizations he had protected. Each memory was both a comfort and a painful reminder of what he had lost. His armor, once a symbol of authority and respect, now served as his only companion. The scratches and dents told stories of conflicts long past. Each mark was a memory, each scrape a testament to his survival. In the silence of space, surrounded by the remnants of his former glory, Jae-woo Park waited. He didn't know what he was waiting for, but something inside him believed that his story was not yet over. The universe, vast and unpredictable, had other plans. The exploration vessel Horizon cut through the darkness of space like a silver knife, its advanced sensors constantly scanning the unknown. Captain Seok Choi sat in the command chair, his fingers tapping a steady rhythm on the control panel. Something about today felt different. Lieutenant Hyun Kim stood at the navigation station, her eyes fixed on a series of unusual energy readings. The data was strange, a faint signal that didn't match any known communication patterns. Most crew members would have dismissed it as space noise, but Hyun was not most crew members. "Captain?" she called out, her voice calm but filled with a hint of excitement. "I'm picking up an anomalous energy signature about 3 light-years from our current position." Seok raised an eyebrow. In their years of exploration, they had learned that anomalies often meant something interesting. Sometimes dangerous, sometimes miraculous, but never boring. The ship's computer began analyzing the signal. It was weak, almost dying, but definitely artificial. Traces of advanced technology mixed with what seemed like an old, powerful energy signature. Something, or someone, was out there. "Prepare a reconnaissance drone," Seok ordered. The crew moved with practiced efficiency. Hyun's fingers danced across the control panel, preparing the most advanced scanning equipment they had. The drone launched silently, its sophisticated sensors probing the darkness. Minutes passed like hours. The crew waited, tension building with each second of silence. Then suddenly, a clear image appeared on the main screen, an abandoned space station. But not just any station. This was something different. The design spoke of an ancient civilization with technology far beyond current human understanding, and at its heart, a lone figure sat motionless. Jae-woo Park didn't move when the drone's lights illuminated the station's interior. He had long stopped hoping for rescue. Survival was his only remaining purpose. Hyun was the first to notice the details. The armor, though damaged, showed signs of incredibly advanced design. The station's layout suggested military-grade construction. This was no ordinary survivor. "We need to investigate," she said quietly. Captain Choi understood the risks. Approaching an unknown station in deep space could be a death trap. But something in the image, the lone figure's posture, the station's mysterious design, called to their sense of exploration. The Horizon approached carefully, using its advanced stealth systems. They didn't want to startle whatever, or whoever, was inside the station. Hyun prepared the boarding equipment, her hands steady, her mind racing with possibilities. As they drew closer, more details emerged. The station was damaged but not destroyed. Systems were running at minimal capacity. Life support was barely functional. And at its center, the lone figure remained motionless. Hyun would lead the boarding team. She checked her equipment, advanced translation devices, medical kit, defensive weapons, standard protocol for first contact situations. But nothing about this felt standard. The airlock connection was perfect. No radiation, no immediate biological threats, just silence and the faint hum of dying technology. When the inner door opened, Jae-woo didn't even look up. Years of isolation had taught him that hope was a dangerous emotion. Sounds of movement meant nothing to him anymore. Hyun stepped forward, her scanning equipment active. The figure before her was clearly a male, wearing damaged armor that spoke of military heritage. His posture suggested both defeat and dignity. "Identify yourself," she said, using the translation device. Jae-woo looked up slowly. His eyes, tired but still sharp, met hers. In that moment, something passed between them, a recognition of survival, of resilience. "I am Jae-woo Park," he said simply. "Once a king, now, nothing." Hyun saw more than just words. She saw a warrior, a leader, someone who had survived impossible odds. Captain Choi's voice came through her communication device. "What do you see, Lieutenant?" Hyun's response was immediate and clear. "We've found something extraordinary, Captain. Something that could change everything we know about galactic history." The station's lights flickered as if agreeing with her statement. Outside, stars continued their silent dance, witnesses to a meeting that would alter the course of human exploration forever. Neither Hyun nor Jae-woo knew it yet, but this moment would be the beginning of something much larger than themselves. A story of redemption, alliance, and unexpected hope was about to unfold. The human research facility buzzed with an unusual energy. Jae-woo Park stood in the center of a massive training room, surrounded by holographic displays and advanced technological equipment. His body, once weakened by years of isolation, was slowly transforming. Human scientists watched carefully. Lieutenant Hyun Kim supervised every training session, her eyes tracking each movement, each subtle change in his physical and mental capabilities. "Your combat algorithms are outdated," she would say, "but your fundamental understanding of strategic movement is remarkable." Jae-woo appreciated their approach. Unlike the alien races that had abandoned him, humans showed genuine curiosity. They didn't just want to use him. They wanted to understand him. The first weeks were challenging. His muscles had forgotten years of military training. Simple movements that once felt natural now required intense concentration. But Jae-woo was a warrior. Surrender was never an option. Human technology proved to be a game-changer. Advanced neural interfaces allowed him to process information faster than ever before. Micro-implants enhanced his physical capabilities. Rehabilitation became a journey of rediscovery. Captain Seok Choi brought him historical records, not just human history but comprehensive galactic archives. Jae-woo studied everything: political movements, technological developments, strategic shifts that had occurred during his isolation. "The political landscape has changed," Seok would explain. "Old alliances have fallen. New powers are emerging." Jae-woo's tactical mind began reassembling the complex puzzle of galactic politics. Each piece of information was a weapon, each historical record a potential strategy. The humans were fascinated by his approach. Where modern strategists relied on complex algorithms, Jae-woo used intuition. He could look at a set of data and see patterns that computer systems missed. Training sessions became more than physical rehabilitation. They were an exchange of knowledge. Jae-woo taught human strategists ancient combat techniques. In return, they shared advanced technological insights. Hyun noticed something extraordinary happening. Jae-woo wasn't just recovering, he was evolving. His understanding of human technology merged perfectly with his traditional strategic knowledge. Military simulations became his playground. Scenarios that challenged top human strategists became simple puzzles for him. He could predict movement patterns, understand potential conflict trajectories with uncanny precision. "He's not just learning," one scientist remarked. "He's rewriting our understanding of strategic thinking." The research facility became a crucible of transformation. Jae-woo's damaged armor was replaced with advanced adaptive technology. Neural connections were enhanced. His body remembered its old strength, now amplified by human innovation. But it wasn't just physical transformation. Jae-woo was healing emotionally. The humans' genuine respect, their willingness to listen and learn, slowly broke down the walls of isolation he had built. Evening sessions became moments of storytelling. He would share tales of his past, battles fought, civilizations protected, political intrigue he had navigated. The humans listened, fascinated by a perspective rarely encountered. Hyun became more than just a supervisor. She became a bridge between his past and potential future. Her translation skills, her diplomatic training, helped him understand the new galactic landscape. "The races that betrayed you are not as powerful as they once were," she would explain. Power dynamics have shifted dramatically. Jae-woo's tactical mind began developing a new strategy. Not revenge, not restoration of his old power. Something more nuanced. A chance to redefine his legacy. Months passed. The once broken warrior king transformed. His body became strong. His mind became sharper. The human technology merged perfectly with his traditional strategic understanding. The facility's advanced systems recorded everything. Each movement, each strategic decision became data. Jae-woo was no longer just recovering. He was becoming something entirely new. "We're not just rehabilitating a warrior," Captain Choi would tell his team. "We're potentially creating a new model of strategic leadership." Jae-woo understood something profound. His strength was no longer about individual power. It was about adaptation, about understanding, about finding new ways to protect and serve. As another training session ended, he looked at his reflection. The damaged warrior was gone. In his place stood something more powerful, a strategic mind, reborn, ready to face whatever challenges the universe might present. The next chapter was about to begin, and nobody, not the races that betrayed him, not the systems that tried to destroy him, could predict what was coming. The massive holographic display showed the entire galactic sector, with pulsing red lines indicating potential conflict zones. Jae-woo Park stood motionless, his fingers tracing invisible strategic paths across the three-dimensional map. Doran Vrel, the primary architect of his original downfall, had no idea what was coming. Months of careful planning had led to this moment. Human intelligence networks, combined with Jae-woo's deep understanding of galactic political structures, created a weapon more powerful than any battleship. Information was their primary tool. Lieutenant Hyun Kim entered the strategy room, her tablet displaying encrypted communication logs. "We've identified 3 critical vulnerabilities in Vrel's current power structure," she reported. The plan was elegant in its simplicity. They wouldn't destroy Vrel's network. They would systematically expose it. Every secret, every backroom deal, every corrupt transaction would be brought into the light. Human communication satellites upgraded with Jae-woo's tactical algorithms began their silent work. Data streams leaked strategically, revealing decades of political manipulation. Diplomatic channels that Vrel had carefully maintained for years started to crumble. "Information is a more precise weapon than any missile," Jae-woo would often say. The humans were learning this lesson quickly. The first major blow came unexpectedly. A series of financial transactions were revealed, showing how Vrel had been siphoning resources from multiple star systems. Governments that once supported him now began to withdraw their backing. Captain Seok Choi monitored the global communication networks. "We're seeing total systemic collapse of Vrel's influence," he reported, a hint of excitement in his voice. Jae-woo's strategy wasn't about revenge. It was about restoration of balance. Each exposed secret was a surgical strike, designed to dismantle a corrupt system without massive destruction. Alien communication channels began to light up. Whispers of conspiracy, fragments of hidden truths, all pointing toward Vrel's systematic betrayal. The political landscape was shifting faster than anyone could predict. Yun noticed something fascinating. Jae-woo wasn't just attacking, he was teaching. Every strategic move was a lesson in political integrity, in the importance of transparent leadership. The human-enhanced technology worked perfectly. Encrypted messages carefully decoded, strategic information precisely released. Complex algorithms predicted potential counter-moves with remarkable accuracy. Vrel's response was predictable. Attempts to block information, to create counter-narratives. But the foundation of his power had already been destroyed. Each attempt to fight back only revealed more of his corrupt network. "He's fighting like a cornered animal," Seok observed, watching the communication patterns. Within weeks, Vrel's entire political structure began to collapse. Star systems that once feared him now openly challenged his authority. Diplomatic connections dried up. Financial support vanished. Jae-woo watched the holographic display, his expression calm. This wasn't just about personal redemption. This was about creating a more transparent galactic system. The final blow came from an unexpected direction. A comprehensive report, compiled from multiple sources, exposed Vrel's decades-long manipulation. Every secret, Every hidden transaction became public knowledge. Governments that had supported Vrel for years now stepped back. Political allies disappeared. His network of influence, carefully built over decades, crumbled in mere weeks. "We didn't destroy him," Jae-woo told Hyun. "We simply revealed the truth." The human team watched in amazement. Their warrior king had dismantled an entire political system without firing a single weapon. Strategic thinking, combined with advanced technology, had become the ultimate tool. Doran Vrel's final communication was a desperate attempt to maintain control. But no one was listening anymore. His power was gone, exposed for what it truly was, a complex network of lies and manipulation. As the final reports came in, Jae-woo felt something he hadn't experienced in years. Not revenge, not hatred, but a sense of justice restored. The galactic communication channels continued to buzz. News of Vrel's complete political destruction spread like wildfire. Systems that had been under his indirect control began to reorganize, seeking new leadership. Hyun looked at Jae-woo, understanding something profound had just happened. They hadn't just defeated a political enemy. They had demonstrated a new way of resolving complex conflicts. "What's our next move?" she asked. Jae-woo's eyes, once filled with defeat, now burned with a new purpose. "We rebuild," he said simply. "We show them a better way." The holographic display continued to pulse, a silent witness to a revolution fought not with weapons, but with truth. The grand conference hall was unlike anything seen before in galactic history. Representatives from hundreds of star systems sat in a circular formation, with Jae-woo Park and Hyun Kim at the center. Gone were the old ways of secretive diplomatic meetings. This was transparency in its purest form. Every discussion, every negotiation would be recorded, accessible to all citizens across multiple star systems. "We are not here to create an empire," Jae-woo announced, his voice calm but powerful. "We are here to create a partnership." The human approach to governance was revolutionary. Instead of traditional hierarchical structures, they proposed a collaborative system where each star system had a genuine voice. Technology would ensure real-time communication, immediate accountability. Hyun managed the communication networks. Advanced translation systems meant that every representative could speak in their native language, with instant, perfect translation. No more miscommunications, no more hidden agendas. The first major decision was about resource distribution. Planets that had been exploited for centuries would now receive fair compensation. Technology would be shared, not hoarded. Scientific discoveries would become collective achievements. Captain Seok Choi presented detailed economic models. They showed how cooperation could generate more wealth than competition. Star systems that had been enemies for generations began to see potential partnerships. Jae-woo's strategic mind was evident in every discussion. He didn't just propose solutions, he helped different groups understand each other's perspectives. His years of diplomatic experience combined with human technological innovation created something entirely new. The old political structures collapsed quickly. Systems that had been isolated for centuries suddenly found themselves part of a larger, more transparent network. Information became the primary currency of power. Educational exchanges became a critical component of the new paradigm. Young people from different star systems would study together, share experiences, break down ancient cultural barriers. "Knowledge removes fear," Jae-woo would often say. The humans had taught him that true strength came from understanding, not domination. Military strategies transformed. Instead of preparing for potential conflicts, star systems began developing joint protection protocols. Shared defense systems meant that no single group could threaten another without immediate collective response. Hyun developed communication platforms that allowed instant democratic decision-making. Complex issues could be discussed and resolved in real time with input from millions of citizens across different star systems. The economic models were revolutionary. Resource-rich planets would support developing systems. Technology would be shared freely. No more exploitation, no more hidden trade agreements. Jae-woo's personal journey became a symbol of transformation. From a fallen warrior king to a collaborative leader, he represented the possibility of genuine change. Scientific research accelerated. Without the old political restrictions, researchers from different star systems could collaborate freely. Medical breakthroughs, technological innovations happened at unprecedented speeds. The human approach to governance was simple but powerful. Transparency, collaboration, mutual respect. Diplomatic meetings that once took months now happened in hours. Complex negotiations that used to involve secret backroom deals were now public, with every citizen able to follow the discussions. Seok Choi often reflected on how quickly everything had changed. A year ago, this would have seemed impossible. Now it was becoming reality. Environmental protection became a collective responsibility. Star systems began sharing technological solutions for planetary challenges. Planets that had been dying found new hope through collective scientific efforts. Jae-woo's tactical mind ensured that the new system had robust fail-safes. No single group could manipulate the entire network. Every decision had multiple layers of verification. The first year of the new galactic paradigm saw unprecedented growth. Conflicts that had lasted centuries began to dissolve. Economic inequalities started to reduce. Scientific progress accelerated. Hyun watched the communication networks, amazed at the transformation. What had started as a rescue mission for a single warrior had become a complete reimagining of galactic cooperation. "We are writing a new chapter of galactic history," Jae-woo told her during one late-night strategy session. The stars outside seemed to shine brighter, as if the universe itself approved of this new approach to cooperation. Jae-woo Park, once a forgotten warrior king, had found his true purpose. Not as a conqueror, but as a builder of bridges between different civilizations.